Do you find that happens a lot where people don't know you're joking? Like what we were saying a minute ago.
Absolutely.
You make mistakes in sincerity and people think you're joking?
Well, my issue more is that people don't know how to take me seriously. So if like, I will say something totally joking in like a very honest sounding way, and they can't tell if it's a joke.
Ta-da! Perfect. Yeah.
Like everything I looked up with you, you're the awkward video guy.
Right. That's fair to say. But the thing is, I'm not actually that awkward.
No. Do we need to introduce Kyle?
Yeah, for sure. He didn't even, when I originally approached these guys, I wanted to get you on the show, like, huge fan. Like,
thank you so much.
Amazing, you know what I mean? Then I saw skate clips of you skating with Richie, so I was like, holy shit. Maybe we have something in common.
Now I've become the conduit, man. I will book him for any skate-related appearances that anyone needs.
So how did you two start hanging out?
Well, likewise, I was just a massive fan of his stuff because he played the awkward character. The Ball Champions was the one that turned me on to his work.
That one's good.
Yeah, because all of these dudes are ready to kill him at any moment.
Right.
And they're asshole sports fans, and I related to the one dude that they were ready to kill. I'm like, yes, that's me at a sports game.
Yeah.
I love this man, whoever he is. And then I met him the same way I met you. Just walking around Santa Monica. I guess I was having a month where I was running into people I wanted to meet. And I was just like walking across the crosswalk, and I saw him and invited him to go skate.
Yeah.
And had you always been into skating?
Yes and no. I'm from San Diego, and I feel like that it's part of the culture. You know what I mean? Even if you're not into skating, you kind of vaguely have to be into it. You know what I mean? And I liked it. I was like a chubby kid though, so I was not incredibly athletic. So I attempted to skateboard for so long and could never do it. Only in like the last year hanging out with him have I become very good.
He learns a trick every time we go out.
No, I'm not very good, but I'm okay. But I enjoy it. I spent the whole day doing butt slides down the rail, and to me, like watching the video, I was like, oh, that looks to me cool. I know it's not actually that challenging, but it's just as cool as seeing somebody do something that I've already seen, if that makes any sense.
Well, what do you want your life to be? Do you want it to be fun, or do you want it to be a training regime?
Yeah, true.
You know, that's the choice.
Good point. That is a good point.
The training regime, it's rewarding, but it's
But all these the wacky, could all put them in like quotes like that. The tricks that you do, let's just call them wacky. You could call them whatever you want. But the tricks that you were known for, that you were doing before, now everyone seems to throw one of those in their lines. Or they're becoming really popular now. Have you noticed that?
Man. See, I don't particularly see that exactly, but Guy Mariano said the exact same thing to me. He was like, I see people doing your stuff. I'm like, what is he seeing? Like, I want to know specifics here.
I see it too.
I want to hear
throws
specifics.
like a little bit, and now you see all these like these.
What though?
I don't think they're throwing in Richie level stuff.
No, not that. But
it's
people
like
are
Richie
more,
light.
But I mean, I think you're saying is the flavor of it.
Right.
Yeah, I put up some slappies the other day, and I think I captioned it, is this shit uncool again yet? Like, because I remember when Jason Adams, dude, we watched the Label Kills video, and his part, man, he's really doing frontside slappies in high waters in 2001.
Yeah.
Like, that's some special shit, man. That was just sitting
on a
there.
shaped board too, right?
Whole fucking decade. Yeah, shaped board, whole decade comes around, and when he did it, everyone's like, well, here's how we feel about that. We're not even going to speak on that matter. Like, it was just scrubbed, you know, and it was the future.
But what do you get bummed when you see people doing that? Maybe you're saying you're not picking up on it.
I think, you know, trends only go so far, like you said. You know, they only really have like an echo of wackiness. Nobody's ready to go full retard, which I am.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Well said.
You were doing, you have the same kind of bag, like where it's, you love doing the different stuff. You love going, I don't necessarily want to call it more gymnastic-y, but like stuff like that. But it's all, you watch it and you're like, what the fuck did he just...
It's especially gnarly to witness in real life.
Right.
Like when this guy starts climbing up telephone poles, it's scary. I get actually scared. And on video maybe it doesn't translate, but when you're around this guy actually out in the street, it's a terrifying experience, this stuff.
You know what it is? With anything, normality breeds kind of like a expectancy, you know? That's why, you ever notice that? Grown men around the world see somebody do a magic trick and they're like, what the was that? Yeah. There's something childlike in that, and I think with skateboarding is I want people to feel like that all the time. You're a grown man, you do this every day, all day. What could possibly be unexpected to you?
Right.
And then you just play in that realm of like, what did you not like? And you know it too. That's why people are so good at magic. They're doing a magic trick. They're doing something over here, distracting you, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, that dude stole the pin. What the? And I like that. I like that life is not it. If you do it correctly, it's not boring anymore.
You did the stunt work for Spiderman or something, right? Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Yeah, you did.
But it was cool because it was kind of a huge thing to me because I wanted to do stunts for real. And what was nice is it ended up happening that they brought me on for the skateboarding because of my video parts. You know, the lead actor guy found them and was like, yeah, you should, you know, double me skateboarding. And then as I got into it, I was like, I'd actually like to do stunt work, like be well-rounded and do it all, you know. And it worked out that way.
I was originally supposed to get it, but I couldn't get the leotard to fit. You know? It was like...
Wait, you auditioned for the Spider-Man stunt part?
That's so crazy. We were up against each other.
So it's awesome.
William and Richie, was there ever a point, did you guys start off skating sort of...
Go on, say the N-word, say normal.
Is that what you're going to say?
Regularly.
He was, yeah.
Was there a moment in each of your, like, in each of those phases for you where you sort of decided or it clicked with you?
Yeah, it was the same
Like,
thing
when
I was
did you
just
go
talking
from
about.
when did you guys both go from being regular skater kid trying to learn kickflips to doing what you're doing?
Jason Adams' Label Kills, so 2001.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Really?
that was it.
That was a
'Cause
point in history,
Yeah,
wow.
I'd been this, and God bless him, I love him to this day. He's still one of my favorite skaters. But I've been, they called me Kitty Kalis in Sydney. I was miniature Josh Kalis. I had the rolled up pants.
Did you
DCs,
really?
Yeah, shaved head.
That's awesome.
And that's why I have
crooked hat and everything?
That's why I have a semi-decent tray flip, is because I studied under the Josh Kalis regime
There
for
you go.
many, many years. So, yeah, but then I sat down in the skate shop and they had Label Kills, and that was it. Because I had no idea any of that shit existed. I didn't know what a slappy was. I didn't know what any of that stuff was. And I was like, you mean, like, you know when people do something, it almost gives you permission? Like, that part was like open permission
That's
to me.
awesome.
Like,
Wow.
here's this punk rock cowboy fucking slappy 50ing, like, sure, okay,
Yeah.
what can we do?
And made it look so good. He's like one of the best ever to do it.
When people
Mhm.
Like,
throw
yeah, that's
when
true.
people throw down like on that level of ballsiness of putting something out there, it gives you permission to do the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the moment for sure.
That's right.
Ooh.
How about, I
Dang,
mean,
has a really great version of that.
well, yeah, but how do you go to like doing flips on the skateboard? Like that's something nobody was doing.
I think it's being unaware. I would just,
Really?
you know, well, yeah, because I spent a lot of time, obviously, it was a lot of years before I had a computer, period, much less cell phone or anything like that. So I just kind of do whatever I think is cool. You know, you watch
Yeah.
cartoons or whatever, and you're like, you know what, I'd
Yours
like
is
to do.
all childhood based.
Yeah, mine's all, like, just, I don't know. I was like, that looks way more fun. Like, you see somebody kick back lip something, you're like, oh, that looks hard and gnarly. But at a certain point, I just want it to be fun. It's
Yeah.
like the most fun I ever have in a video game, you know, when you're like running on the edge of a building, you just jump and you're not worried about it, and just
Yeah.
fun. That's what I would like skateboarding to feel like. So anything that has to do with that, I'm like, sure, it'd be cool to accomplish something, but at the same time, I just want it to be fun.
But going back a year and a
what it
half,
Mm-hmm.
when you came on here, and then there was a bunch of criticism about the way you acted, and you
Yeah,
shut
but that
down
was fair
Sierra.
enough. I was just loud and.
But then you used that as a
Yeah, that
as
was
a
amazing, by the
launchpad
way.
for
Springboard
to
for the
promote
show.
the new
Yeah.
show. It was like, I'm
I thought
sorry,
that was brilliant, actually.
you know, I'm arrogant. I talked over Sierra, whatever you said, you know, and then all of a sudden, it's like the amazing Richie Jackson show premiering next Friday.
That was just good timing, and it was me
Did you
addressing.
time-
I was addressing the whole fucking, you know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing that everybody has. Drunken self versus sober self. My sober self is so fucking shy, like afraid to even speak, and my drunken self is just overbearing, loud. And it was like I had to watch that thing and go like, Jesus Christ, what am I looking at?
You mean
Is
this
that-
when you were here last?
Yeah,
time?
I'm like, is that what people? Is
Wow,
that my
it was
drunk
good.
self? Oh, thank you.
You weren't.
That was good.
I didn't think you were that
didn't
drunk.
know that.
Yeah, no, I stand by everything I said, but nevertheless, it was very loud and very.
Well, I'll say
confronting.
I've seen only a handful of episodes of the show, and I feel like some dudes like will just really keep it low key in the back with
Yeah.
like short responses.
Yeah.
That's what it
And
was.
I saw Richie's, which I feel like is the exact
It was
opposite.
amazing.
Yeah.
But fuck it. All I wanted to do going on that show was kiss you. I pre-planned all that shit. I knew where Erica was gonna sit.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, I could go around her. She'll think it's for her, and then I'll go
Yeah.
to Rob. Pre-planned.
And that was awesome. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I assumed that after the fact, but it was rad.
I had a map of this room in my head, and I saw where everybody would be
He
sitting.
didn't wash
and
his
I
lips
knew
for
it
2
would
weeks.
work. Great.
I went home and yeah. Did you really get kicked off stage, booed off stage at VidCon?
I did, yes.
What
Yeah.
for?
Evidently, he's the first person to ever get booed off stage.
Why?
Is that correct?
I don't
what I
know.
read
I don't know
today.
about the stats. I feel like it's a pretty warm audience, so I definitely believe the idea that I would be only, like that it never happened again. I did my fake stand-up character, Bruce.
What is that guy's name?
Bruce Chandler.
Oh God, he's so good.
And then I
Hey,
did.
hey, come on.
Have you seen that one, Rob?
Yeah.
I showed a
I saw it,
video,
so good.
and I did this character named Alex Matheson, who's like a 14-year-old like kid, but who like talks about how much pussy he gets, but he's also really short, and he's constantly like making up for the
I saw
fact
that
that
one, too.
even though
I've
he's
never seen
short,
that one.
Dude.
it's like like I feel like
It's
it's
pretty good.
kind of underground relative.
I've
But anyway,
seen
so then I did that show for like Kyle fans in essence. It went over great. And then I was asked to perform for everybody basically.
Character
And
works
I
on
did-
YouTube, doesn't work at VidCon.
And I did
That's
that.
all.
I did both those characters. I did this shitty stand-up, and it, like people just thought it was shitty stand-up, which it is. Nobody like was like, "Oh, that's interesting that he's like," you know. I don't want to get into like what is interesting about that character per se, but then I did Alex Matheson, and like it was basically a PowerPoint presentation. Like you gotta imagine this whole audience is like 14-year-old kids and their parents, basically.
Oh, okay.
And Alex Matheson has a PowerPoint that's like a graph of like how wet girls get when they're around him, basically. And I'm like speaking
Do the voice, do the voice.
It was like, so as you can see, Catherine, Laura, they all went off the creamy scale, whatever it was. I don't even remember. You know what I mean?
Do it, Alex.
But like, all like for like a 14-year-old kid, they're like, you know,
Get the kids out of here! Oh my
that
God,
was
this is
basically what it was,
VidCon!
like, and the moment they started booing was the moment, because I remember being kind of nervous at that show because I knew immediately, like before I went out and did Bruce, I was like, I know this audience is not going to be
not gonna
into
work.
it. But the moment they started booing was the most comfortable I'd been. I got because I was like, oh, now I can just have
confirmed,
fun
yeah.
because it's like, now it's just like, what? I'm just being me. I don't know what y'all talking about. You know what I mean? Whatever it was, but yes, I was booed off.
That's amazing.
25 subscribers, yet still they're like, hey guys, sorry I haven't made a video in a while. You know what I mean? Like people are waiting, like people are like, yeah, he's back. You know what I mean? I love that, Steve.
Oh my God.
What do you
Dude,
think
how
about
did
that?
I know
I mean,
this
are
shit
you
was
ready?
coming?
Are you
No.
ready to witness this thing?